Okay, I'm again here with Alex de Grassi, and this time I'm gonna ask some questions about your instruments.
Yeah.
And because you have beautiful guitars, and if you could share some stories or
Yeah. Well, this is a Jeff Traugott guitar. I've had it for almost 20 years, I think.
From Santa Cruz.
He's in Santa Cruz, and he's one of the many wonderful luthiers in Santa Cruz. We always joke and say there must be something in the water down there, because some of the best guitar builders for steel string in particular are down there. Richard Hoover, who started Santa Cruz Guitar Company.
Right.
And Jeff worked for him for a while. Also in that same area is Ed Claxton. I'm not sure if Ed worked for Santa Cruz or not, but their guitars are pretty similar, Jeff's and Ed Claxton, and they're really fantastic instruments. And then in a minute I'll show you Fred Carlson, another one who makes some very unusual guitars. So this is a rosewood, Brazilian rosewood, and it's Jeff's main model. I think he calls it an R. And it's very, as you pointed out yesterday, it's very simple but elegant looking. And it's just, but it's really beautiful craftsmanship. And this has I think because maybe in part because it's Brazilian rosewood, it has a lot of what I say, a lot of color, a lot of overtones, so it has a very rich color. And I like to have this, I like to use this in tunings where I tune down from standard tuning.
Okay.
Just somehow the way it's set up. And, so it's a mixture of medium and light gauge strings.
Medium and, okay.
I think these are, the fourth and fifth strings are light.
Right.
And then I put medium on everything else, Actually, on this one I put something in between if I can find it.
Oh, really?
Like a 25,
Oh,
instead of 24 or 26, I try to find the
between.
25.
Okay.
So, and I like this tuning a lot, which is the D-A-D-E-A-D, which is...
D-A-D-E-A-D.
Yeah.
Close to that God.
Yeah, and it's what I used on my very first two records a lot. Back then, I was younger and much, thought I was really tough. So I would tune it up to E-B-E, F-sharp B-E, which is a lot of tension.
Tight.
Yeah. So as I've gotten older and smarter, I've brought it down. But this is what it sounds like. Anyway, this is a very rich, a lot of overtones. Very.
And you like this shape?
I do like this shape.
This
it's more of a concert size.
Concert size, right?
It's his own shape. It's not. I think it's his own exact shape, but and he makes other guitars, but he's best known for this design.
Okay.
Yeah. And then of course we have this, which is
my signature.
This is the de Grassi signature, Lowden de Grassi signature model prototype.
Prototype.
So this is the first one they built for me.
What year?
About 2000, I think it was 2000.
So 22 years ago.
Yeah. And this is it's in that same tuning.
Yeah.
And this guitar, I probably use more than anything.
Your main kind.
Yeah, and this is the one I've been taking out on the road for quite a while now. For a while I was taking both that and the Traugott. But I've tried to just travel with one guitar.
Okay, and then you picked this one.
I picked this one because it's very versatile. And the one thing I like about it that not everybody likes about guitars, and it may be something to do with the fact that it's quilted maple, is...
Which is not common.
Yeah, it's not. Most fingerstyle players like a rosewood or an African, some kind of cocobolo, or there's so many now, or koa. What I like about it is I dig in and play pretty deep, pretty hard.
Yeah.
And I like to add my own articulations, you know, whether it's like the pitch.
Yeah.
So I like a guitar that's got a really strong fundamental, meaning, you know, this has plenty of overtones for me. So when I play the Traugott, what I like about it is they're pieces that I like to have a lot of sparkle and a lot of overtones.
Yeah.
This is a little drier. It's still very resonant guitar.
Yeah.
It's very lively and loud. And the other thing I like about it is it just plays beautifully. I mean, and it's so well balanced. All the notes from the bottom to the top. It's just so even. You know, I just feel like I really have control over this guitar.
Oh, wow.
So this one is probably, and then let's grab another one here real quick.
Sure.
Get behind you. This was kind of an unusual one. Another Santa Cruz, California guitar maker.
One. Yeah.
Fred Carlson. Yeah.
This is really like something.
Yeah. This may be need a little tuning, but. Yeah, I need to tune it up a little bit, but it's Fred calls it a sympitar.
Sympitar.
For sympathetic stringed guitar. And you know, the idea is taken somewhat from East Indian instruments like the sitar.
Yeah.
And so there's 12 strings inside. Kind of hard to see, but
yeah, it's
it depends on the light. But there's 2 courses of 6 strings each. They go in here. And then they go through graphite tunnels without touching anything, and then they come here to these the nuts.
Yeah.
And then all the black tuners, you can tune them.
Yes.
And you can tune them within the range of about an octave. After that, it gets too high where it won't vibrate, or it gets too low where it won't vibrate. And then under here, underneath the top is a little block with a metal plate. So when you play this, when you play the one that's tuned, in this case to D, the string that's tuned to D in there, and I often have 2, resonates and vibrates, and it hits that little metal block. So you learn to control it, and yeah, I needs a little tuning, or else I would play something, but
yeah,
I don't want to do that while we're making a video. So, but you can.
What if you play a chords, harmonies, still?
I played in a trio with bassist Michael Mannering and percussionist Chris Garcia. And Chris played tabla a lot, as well as some other hand percussion. And Michael with his amazing fretless bass sound. This sounded really good.
That's I want to hear that.
I'll give you a recording. Yeah.
Right. So that's Fred
Carlson.
Carlson.
And if anybody's interested, they should go. This may seem like a very unusual instrument, but he's got ones that are much more unusual.
So odd shape too.
Yeah. If you go to beyondthetrees.com.
Beyondthetrees.com. Okay,
and you can see the photos. He's specialized in making unusual instruments, and a lot of them are hybrid between a cello and a guitar, between a Chinese gutian and a guitar, and all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, amazing.
Great.
Do you want to see one more?
Sure. You have one more.
We have time. I'll show you.
Yeah.
This.
Oh yeah, that.
Come on, Fred.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a Lance McCollum baritone guitar. So it's obviously a bigger guitar.
Yeah.
And the scale length is, I think it's 28 inches.
28.
So most guitars are 25 and 5/8 or 3/4 or something. So it's almost 2.5 inches longer. And I have it pitched down a whole fifth.
Whole fifth, okay.
So this is an A. Yeah.
A,
Yeah, so if I play.
Wow, beautiful.
So it has a lot of sustain. It's not quite as loud as some of my other guitars. But it has this incredible sustain.
Yeah.
And then it's made from Paduk.
Paduk.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
And it's an interesting story because Lance McCollum, who passed away some years ago unexpectedly, he was not very old. It was kind of tragic. But he told me that this wood, this Paduk, came from a built-in cabinet in a house, an old Victorian house in Sacramento. That a friend of his, who was a building contractor, was doing remodeling, and they took this old cabinet out, and the guy said, "Wow, this wood's really interesting." So he gave it to Lance, and Lance made a few guitars out of it.
Wow.
And Paduk, my understanding is, I know when I did some touring with Mark Egan years ago, Mark had some Paduk basses, and he liked them, and so maybe it's a wood that's good for the lower frequencies. I don't know.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah.
But anyway, that's and then I think this is an Italian spruce top. Yeah. So anyway, that's yeah. And I can show you one more real quick if we have time.
Sure. Yeah.
You might have to hold something.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Here, hold this one.
Yeah, sure.
So this is. This is a James Goodall guitar that James built for me a few years ago, and it's
Is this similar to a Lowden shape? Or
it's a little bigger.
A little bigger, okay.
Yeah, he makes various size boxes of different designs, but I believe this is what he calls a jumbo concert, which is a little confusing to me because he makes a regular concert, which is a little small, and then he makes a jumbo or some kind of bigger guitar. So it's not the biggest guitars that he makes, but but it's the biggest concert guitar he makes. So and this is just beautiful wood. It's
this is koa.
The koa.
Yeah.
Yeah, and James was in. He had his company in Hawaii, in Kona, for many years, and he built up a pretty big. I don't know. I think he was making maybe as many as 1,000 guitars a year. Yeah. And with like 20 employees, and then he
came back.
When he got older. He just I think he wanted to simplify his life and came back. So now it's just he and his son making the guitars, and his wife running the business, and they're right here in Mendocino County over at Fort Bragg.
Family team.
Yeah. And he has a beautiful shop. He's very neat, you know. It's like his shop's like looks really very well organized. Oh wow! But when he just said he wanted to build me one, I went over there and I got to hand pick out the wood and everything. And all his years in Hawaii, he acquired some of the really
he knows
primo koa wood. Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah. And you know, I just it's a red cedar top, and.
Which is kind of soft.
It's a little softer, but this is quite a loud guitar. I mean, I guess we're in Dan here. Yeah. And this one. I mean, they're all different, of course. Yeah. But this one is a little bit like the Traugott in the sense that, to my ears, it has a little more overtones and a little more color to it. So the Lowden, I think, is a little more neutral.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I think that's why it's so versatile.
Yeah.
I can add color or keep it a little more like a jazz guitar or something. And then this one has a lot of color and a lot of volume. It's got a great low end bass. So, yeah, this is a beautiful guitar.
Okay, so I have a question.
And I use this one and the Lowden and the Carlson on my latest recordings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And my question is, like sometimes like I use guitar which has a lot of overtone for like slower sounds, more spaces. That you do that?
Yeah, I do that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if I use like the guitar which has too much overtones for the first song, it's sometimes a little too much.
Too much, yeah. It gets
Do
a
you feel
little
like
muddy or just too much going on. Yeah, too
Okay.
much. That's a good way to
So
say
you
it.
do that kind of thing too?
I do too, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I agree. Yeah,
I was just wondering.
Yeah.
You do it too.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So that's some of them.
Great. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
You have more, but...
I can show you one more if you want.
Okay, sure.
So this is, after George Lowden made the signature Lowden for me, we've had continuing discussions, and he started making fan fret guitars.
Yeah.
So he tried, he made a couple for me to try out that were full fans. So they fan this way, and then at some point they start going this way, which is typical of the fan frets. And I said, I never got very comfortable with this fan here. I said, what about having one that's more like normal here,
regular,
or traditional, perpendicular, and then fanning as we get here. Because my hands feel like, and I often use a support like that, but I feel like when I get up here, it starts to make more sense. But down here, I was kind of struggling with it. So this is also a quilted maple, and of course it's a beautiful guitar.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna experiment with. And I should have done it before we sat down and talked, but I think right now I have light gauge strings on here, but if I put medium gauge up here, I think that it will balance out the sound a little bit. Yeah. Right now, I love the bass on it. The bass. It's really
big bass.
It's big and it's very
clear.
Very clear.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. And it has a big bridge plate.
It's a big bridge, yeah, and it's a pretty radical angle there too, yeah.
Very unique.
So George makes amazing guitars, and he's always experimenting, which is great. He doesn't build any outrageous guitars like Fred Carlson's sympitar, but he's always, innovating and trying to find new designs that work, and he's a real master builder, and everything about this guitar is just very beautifully crafted. So.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's my venture into the fan fret world.
Great. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah.